I may have, yeah, like I have physical symptoms of itchiness on the skin, and I can feel like a burning, and I can start feeling it on my skin without anything happening physically on the skin, like you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like right now, I can feel some burning in my ankle. Can move around the body. And mostly I've been tracking it around, like when there's separation that starts appearing in my field. Either I'm pushing away, like having an aversion to someone else or a circumstance or something I don't want to be or join with. I've been tracking that. And yeah, often I'll stop and check in to see if I'm feeling any separation, if I can find it. What was your other question?
What does it look like? How does it present? I think you answered all the questions.
I used to think
when does it come about? Yeah.
I used to think it was a gluten allergy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of how it started out, was that story. And then as I was looking more and more, it felt like, I'm just, maybe it just appears as aversion, that there's something I'm pushing away from. And through time, in the last 2 years, I visited a lot of anger and rage related to it. When I look. And then at this point, it feels mostly related to the knower. And when I'm trying to, there's like a grasping to know answers or control or have a certain outcome, or I'm disgruntled with things in the environment, I can feel it kind of come on.
So when it comes up, how do you work with it? How do you, let's say you notice you have itching or the rash is coming up. How do you normally approach it in your practice?
Well, right now, I feel like I've approached it a lot of different ways, but right now what comes up is trying to honor what's happening first, because there's a resistance to the rash itself. Like it comes up and I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
And then, because it's uncomfortable. So in this moment, my response, because I can feel it when I talk about it, my response is to sort of soften and feel it and just sort of ask, or just get into a state of like, here's some information that's about to reveal itself through the rash. Like there's something good here. Not just, this is a bad thing that I need to push away, but like, what if there's something good here?
Right.
What if there's a gem inside of this that's like shifting my state a little bit? And then at the same time honoring, another layer to honor is that I don't want to be itching and I want to have ease in my body. Right? That part of me too that just wants ease.
Okay. So I just want to cover some of the basic things that you may already be doing, but just because we're recording, it's good to get that down. Working with a physical issue, and this is a good example, over time, a lot of times what can happen is people will discover, for example, this physical issue comes up when I feel separate from someone. So I'll work with feeling separate from someone, and then they kind of forget the physical part of it, or it becomes secondary. But what I've found really important is you can notice, there's rage with it, or anger, or separation with skin conditions. That's a common one, because the skin is what separates us. It's like the physical boundary that appears to separate us from other physical boundaries, right? Like my skin and your skin could never actually melt together in the physical way. So that's a boundary from me to you. So symbolically, it can represent stuff like that. And it's good to notice that and then keep letting it go, which is related to what you're saying about the knower, right? So you notice it and you keep letting go, and you always come back to the physical representation in each moment. So what the itching feels like now. What the itching feels like now. Where is it now? What's it doing now? What's it like now? What's it like now? And instead of kind of going into a particular story that seems to be connected with the itching only, you can go in, that story will come up as you explore the physical thing. And so it's fine to explore separation around feeling separate from people, right? Obviously. But then when you feel a shift in that, instead of going, oh, well, where else do I feel separate from people? Then we always come back to, okay, that's shifted. Now what's happening in the physical sensation?
Okay.
Even if you're not having the physical sensation in the present, let's say you're visiting it in the past because you don't have it in the present. It's still, you want to come back to that as the main anchor.
Oh, okay. So even if I'm not feeling the itching, still come back to it.
Yeah. You would go to a past moment that you were feeling the itching.
Okay.
If it still if you're not feeling the itching in the present, it could be gone forever, right? So what's the, you know, it might not even be necessary to explore other ones, but you'll know that, because if it's not necessarily, it'll just be gone. You'll just be thinking about other things, and then it'll be gone, and 2 years later you'll go, oh, this one's itching. I forgot about that. Yeah. And that's literally how healing works in the physical too. So that feels important. Another thing that you mentioned, I'm going to keep coming back to this because I feel like due to my own limitation, I've been instilling this particular thing in the way that we work, and I keep wanting to clear it up.
Exciting.
Yeah. And that is, you know how you explained how you're feeling the itching? When you feel the itching and you notice the first response, the one that goes, I don't want the stupid itching anymore, where is that one living?
I kind of feel it in the front of my body towards my skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where is it in relationship to the itching and the skin and the body?
Yeah, I feel the itching like in my left leg, near my knee, near my ankles and feet. Something funny happens when I try to ask that question, like where is it in relationship to that? It feels like it takes me somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay, so before you go there, because you're moving to the next step, which is fine. The key thing, normally we're trying to embody the sensation of itching and burning, right? So in order to do that, the one who is resisting the itching and burning needs to relax so it can move into it, into embodiment, which is what you described is how your process is going, right? And that is the basic thing that I want to offer another part to right now.
Ooh, okay.
So the whole key has been embodiment, embracing. We've visited the other aspect that I'm about to bring us into, but we come from a different route to do it. And now I want to take this angle because it's showing things that we've been missing before. So when you just let yourself be the one who doesn't want to embody the itching, or who has the reaction like, I just want to get rid of this itching. Fuck off, itching. Whatever. You know? You just be that.
Okay.
And you can let go of the itching. You don't have to embody it. Let go of the itching, let go of the skin, that part of your body. And then when you do that, where is How do you experience stillness?
I kind of feel it like pushing through everything, if that makes sense. Kind of from behind, pushing forward through the body.
Okay, great. So if you just let yourself be the one that's resisting, that's inhabiting the layer near the skin with the stillness, and drop the sensations.
Yeah, like things have shifted. Yeah, I feel a lot of stillness in that one. At first there was like a rage, and then I don't know, I just feel a lot of stillness.
Okay, good. So as soon as you feel the shift, then come back and check in with your anchor, which are the physical sensations, and then notice what they're like now in the present.
Yeah, I don't feel any itching. I feel a little bit of energy on my left leg near my knee, but it doesn't feel like itching. It almost feels like tingling. Yeah. And I feel the sort of sense of like a fluid boundary around my skin.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so you let yourself take in all the sensory information, the tingling and the fluid boundary energy, and then come back to the one noticing it. And then see where you are, the one that's noticing it, and where you are.
Okay, so the one who's noticing, I kind of feel the whole like outside of my head and down a little bit my body. Highlights, and the sense of I feels like a line down back behind my spine.
Are they the same, or are they different? The one in the spine and the one noticing.
It feels like there are parts that are the same, and then there's some differentiation.
Okay.
At first I couldn't feel any differentiation, and then when I just look for them, they feel different.
So it kind of doesn't really matter which one you embody, or you embody them both, because eventually they'll both be addressed through the process. But just pick one of them.
Okay. Yeah, the one who's watching.
Okay, then be that one with stillness again.
Yeah, I could feel like this subtle amount of anxiety in the one who's watching. Kind of soften. Well, first to know that it was there, and then to soften. And it kind of feels like in my low belly too. Sense that little bit of tension softening. Yeah, has the energy of like, oh, there's a problem.
Yeah.
That needs addressing.
Yeah. So where do you feel that registering there's a problem that needs addressing?
Yeah, I feel it in my low belly, and then I feel it in the back of my shoulders, upper back, a little down my arms. Highlights too.
Okay, great. So feeling that and the sensations that go with it. Go back to the one having that experience. The one noticing that there's a problem to address. Where is it living?
Yeah, I feel like my shoulders, my back, upper back, a little bit the back of my head.
Okay.
Like it's coming together with whatever I was just looking at.
And how is stillness and relationship to them?
It feels like it's penetrating it, but not all the way.
Okay, so when the three of them start to come together, you kind of want to tease out or zoom in, let's say, to the two again. Even when the body is there, the physical sensations, the emotion, and the qualities, zoom in and find the one that's noticing those qualities, and then be that one together with the deepest experience of silence that you can access.
Yeah, I feel this pull of like the head and the belly coming together.
Yeah.
When you say that.
Okay. Well, and just feel that for a little bit. Let the pull be there.
It's funny, like as these two pieces come together, I feel the knower pops up.
Okay.
And is like, hey, are you sure this is a good idea?
So,
and not even just like real, it's becoming more and more subtle, you know? But then like my brain's like, but what are you going to do for a job while your head and your belly are coming together?
It's so funny.
It's really funny.
Okay, so the knower, where is this knower?
Okay, the knower is on the skin. Yeah, like the upper part of my body.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's this like really, really subtle gripping quality to it. That's nice to see how subtle it is. It used to be like, like, oh, how do I can't breathe? I'm like, oh, it's subtle. That's wonderful.
Okay, who's saying that?
Yeah, who is it? Okay,
In relationship to the knower, the one who's like, oh, it's so subtle. Thank God. Where is that one?
That feels like the line that I was exploring earlier in the back up near my spine.
Yeah. Okay, so as you go through this process of continually looking at the one, or the observer, the witness of the experience, it's going to take you into subtler and subtler layers of awareness. So you noticed the one in the back before, but then you kept working with the one in the front, which is fine because eventually you'll get back there. But what you'll find now is if you go to the one in the back, that it's the quality of awareness changes between being that one and being the... Okay, so if you can describe the difference in the quality, then it would be good for others to hear that. If you can't, that's okay.
Yeah. So the difference between the one in the back and the knower?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the one in the back feels... what comes to mind is like pure awareness. It feels more like that. I don't think it's, whatever level of access I have to that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely this sense of calm in it. And ease and sort of like just space, like empty space.
Yeah.
And like nothing's really happening.
Yeah. So that's what I'm calling the witness. Like pure awareness. It's actually what I'm calling first arising of awareness.
Okay.
And you might get in there and find subtler arisings, that's fine. But this is the place where you want to go when you're tracking the awareness. So if you just be that, you just be that pure awareness together with silence and see what happens.
Yeah, it feels like it starts spreading through the body. Like it felt really like located firmly in one spot, and then it feels like it's moving, and there's like a lot of sense of open space and light. I feel a lot of light.
Yeah.
It's funny, like there's this sun shining on my face, and it feels like it just illuminated the inside.
Okay, good. So what I've been working with here is when you go to that pure awareness, there would never be any call to healing or looking for separation, or because it just feels there's nothing to fix, right? There's nothing to be done. There's nothing happening. But if you be that, nothing happening, together with stillness, something shifts. And then everything that you traced back into this experience changes forward. So, for example, if you feel into the coming together of the head and the heart right now, what's happening on that level?
Oh, the head and the belly?
Yeah, sorry, the head and the belly.
Yeah, it's not there like it was. I feel something really subtle in my belly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel some like my ears opening.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but it doesn't feel there in the way it was.
Yeah. So coming back to experience the sensations and the setup, you could just repeat the process all over again. Feeling the setup of the head and the belly the way it is now, and then becoming the pure awareness in relationship to that setup together with stillness or complete formlessness.
Gotcha. So it's like just sort of stand in the pure awareness and then do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Wherever you're going to go. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So normally when we're doing womb work and we're working with the belly and we're bringing the awareness into the body and the physical sensations, that's the embodiment aspect. When you're working this way, that is the transcendent aspect, or the working with the absolute and the awareness. It's the head. So we're developing the head center.
This is what's new.
The upper dantian. We're developing the upper dantian when we work in this way, when we're tracking back to pure awareness.
Yeah.
And feeling that together with stillness. Now, you might be there and think, oh, this is pure awareness. And then something happens and you go, wait a minute, this is pure awareness. That's fine. It's going to keep, refining itself until there is no more refining there. And then the embodiment is working in the belly, which we've done a lot of with womb work. And we can continue to do that. But then the question becomes, okay, how do the two come together? The awakening in the head and the awareness that's related to all these centers, the knower, the seer, the expressor, the embodiment, which is related to the creativity and the survival. How do they connect?
I just see like this hinging.
Okay, when you see the hinging, what's happening in your body? Where is the hinge in relationship to your body?
Yeah, like my lower middle back. It feels like that just sort of. It's like the two are really just the same thing. That's what it feels like. And I don't really know what happens to everything else in between them.
Great.
It just sort of collapses or something.
Okay, so would you say that that's the meeting point between them right now in your body? That hinge point or not?
What's the meeting point between the two? I just see this sort of flat line between them, like a pancake.
Okay, and you see the line. When you look at the line, what is the experience of the one seeing?
That's weird. I feel this like out far and then in right in it, and then out far in right in it, like it's going back and forth.
Yeah, great.
Between the two.
So you can go back to what we were just exploring, in that when you have that out far and in, become the pure awareness in relationship to that experience together with silence.
This is so different. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Everything sort of dissolves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, was I looking at something? I don't really know. It's like, it just wasn't, it almost feels like it wasn't real, or I don't, like, I feel like I'm stepping into like, oh no, this is what's real or something. Whatever I was seeing before, I don't know where it is or what happened to it.
Okay, great. That's perfect. So when you feel the head and the belly, our anchor has kind of changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're still working with the skin, but we're going with a kind of an internal inquiry to that.
Mm-hmm.
And the internal inquiry is what's happening, where are the head and the heart meeting? Is there a meeting point between the two of them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there a meeting point between the head and the heart from the place of pure awareness?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever this is. What are the words you used?
Well, first, because if you're just pure awareness, it can just be like, oh, there's pure awareness with, there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
Right? So check and see if there's anything happening anywhere in relationship to the head and the heart. Like, what's the, what are the physical what's the sensory experience in relationship to the head and the heart and where they're meeting?
Gotcha. It feels like there's a sense of surrender, and they're joining on some level. It kind of feels like icebergs colliding, like,
Mm-hmm.
but they're combining as opposed to just crumbling to the sea.
Okay. So where is the combining point? Where are they hitting each other in relationship to your body? Or are you still just seeing that?
I think in my belly.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard to say though. It's like space feels a little funny. Not funny, but just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's notice the sensation in your belly, and that space feels funny. And then again, be the pure awareness with silence. Let go of the sensations.
Yeah, so I'm back to that same state of just space.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of stillness.
Okay. So then if you come back to, well, first of all, let's feel the skin. Come back to our, like, general anchor. Getting cold too. It's a bit windy.
It's so funny. It's the back. Like I'm a toasty right in the front.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so back to the skin.
Oh, yeah. What's your skin feel like at the moment? And the rash. Trigger.
Oh, it's interesting. I feel really subtle. My legs, like above my knees. I feel very, very subtle itchiness.
Uh-huh.
That it feels, I also feel this, it feels similar to this pure awareness energy.
Okay.
Like it all over the body.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the rash feeling.
Okay, what happens if you just let them all be there together? The subtle itchy and the pure awareness with the silence.
Yeah, it starts, I feel like that pure awareness starts sort of penetrating. I don't even know, or just there's just space in my skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the itchy is gone. The subtle itchy is gone.
Yeah.
And I can feel it on my head, like the back of my head and the top and like scalp.
When you say it, what do you mean?
Oh, so like real subtle itchy
Okay.
showing up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's going away too. We're just shifting. Yeah, it feels like more golden light or like effervescent.
Mm-hmm. Just in the head or also other places?
Yeah, other places too. It's almost like it's leading to like the body dissolving or something. Like
Yeah.
being. I can feel a taste of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep feeling that flavor, and as you're feeling the body dissolving in the gold light, tune into to the uniqueness of yourself. What are the qualities within that are just unique to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that feels like when you say that, it feels like I can feel the qualities of essence. I'm like, oh, that's what's me.
Yeah.
Like, I felt that my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's lots of other things I felt, but that thing is me.
Yeah. And is there any part of the awareness that is aware of the unique essence but is kind of looking at it and not inhabiting it?
Not that I can sense.
Okay. And is there any separation between the unique essence and the itchiness on the skin, or the skin itself, or actually any part of your body?
A really, really tiny bit in the low belly.
Mm-hmm. What's happening now?
Yeah, I was feeling that a little bit in the belly. Like thoughts about dissolving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, is that a good idea? How are you gonna pay your rent? No, that actually didn't come up. I just thought that now.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like some subtle aspect of mind or...
Great. So then you can... Did you notice how just working with pure awareness and the absolute cultivated the unique essence?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then when I'm being in the essence, I can feel everything that's not that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Pretty strongly.
Great. So what we would do before is feel the essence with what's not that, and you can still do that. It's the same thing. We're just coming in a different route to get what's left, or you can notice the what's left and then just be the pure awareness in relationship to what's left and the absolute.
Pure awareness in relationship to what's left.
So the thoughts about dissolving.
Yeah.
Oh, there's thoughts about dissolving. What is that? What's that experience? What if I go and be pure awareness? Then, when in the face of thoughts about dissolving.
Yeah, so it's always just going back to pure awareness, like maybe the way we would go back to, like you're saying, essence, but also, right, like there's been hold everything with stillness, hold everything with essence, hold everything with pure awareness.
Yeah, the great thing about working in this way is that for, with embodiment, people who are identified with form, they don't get as many avenues into the potential for disidentification with form. So when you go into the experience and farther into the experience, you might miss, oh, I'm actually identified with what's happening, the physical sensations, the emotions, the thoughts.
Yeah.
And that becomes available to transform when you are moving away from embodiment, or you're moving away from the sensations, the sensory experience, into pure awareness. So what I'm getting more into in my own practice with the rainbow body, and I've known all of this intellectually, but it's just come up in the latest round again. The reason I was having you look into the head and the belly is because they'll show you that bridge from pure awareness into embodiment. In between that space are the dantians and the chakras. So the dantians will give you different feedback as to whether you need to go back to the pure awareness, and in what situation or sensory experience you need to visit it in relationship to. Feels complicated. So that's why when you were saying, oh, I feel a separation between the head and the heart, you can use that as your anchor to go back into the first arising of awareness, or you can go back into the skin and go back into first arising of awareness. And the meeting point will be in the heart. The meeting point between the head and the heart, and that's
the belly.
The head and the belly.
Yeah.
And that's the bridge.
The
So you were asking earlier, how does the bridge? When we were playing with Sia, and Sia kept going, "It's a bridge, it's a bridge," and you were saying, "How is the bridge related?" Ta-da!
It's the heart.
The heart is the bridge. So, and I'll say more about that because I want to talk about it in a group too, but I'll say it later. How are you feeling at the moment? I'm doing a lot of talking. How are you?
That's great. Yeah, I'm taking it in my upper dantian. I feel great. Yeah.
I think what you said at the end is super important because that's what I've noticed. The body dissolves when that deepest level of unification is there. The body actually dissolves, but it's not like it becomes light. It doesn't just go into nothingness. It becomes this moving light force, something. And that is what's creating your skin in this case.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself tomorrow having itchy skin again, or next week or whatever having itchy skin, you can look at it as oh, okay, so I can go and visit that pure awareness when the skin is itching, and it will show me through the unification there the level of essence that's still missing or hasn't yet been cultivated in order to fully recreate my skin according to my essence.
Gotcha. Wowzers. Yeah, because when I'm sitting with pure awareness, we'll see what essence arises. And when I hold my essence, I'll see what gaps there are.
Yeah, and the awareness and
Okay.
Exactly. And that's how they are actually one, the essence and the awareness, eventually fully realize their own oneness.
Whoa. That's cool. Okay, yeah. And that was the 3 points, right? In the center of the Sri Yantra was awareness.
Essence. And the absolute.
And the absolute.
Yeah, thanks for making that connection.
I'm like, I know we're headed somewhere here. This is sounding familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's like, okay, that's what I got.
That's a perfect depiction.
That's what this video.
Boop.
It was so simple. Why did it seem so complicated?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. Awareness, essence, the absolute.
Mm-hmm.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Done. Take a nap. Okay, great. And did you want to say more about, did you say the heart as a bridge?
I think I'll say more later. I did a video. I actually did a guided meditation into the heart that's really hits these points in a different way.
I'm doing that with Kelly in a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy about that.
Okay,
so it's the same thing from a different angle, but I'm glad to show this from the angle of working with something physical.
Great.
Yeah. And then I'll say more about the heart stuff later.
Okay, great.
Now we have guns behind us.